Good evening, everyone. So happy to see you guys again. So next few classes, so we just talk about Dharma in generally. Then October, right? Since October, and I think. So we will start the serious teaching, which is the Lamrim. Next month, yeah. So in the past, we had few classes. I remember the first I explained or introduce you the history of Buddhism. The second, I explain you the two truths. Based on the two truths, then I explain you the Four Noble Truths. Based on the Four Noble Truths, then I explain you how you can take refuge to Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. Then we have a discussion. The Buddhahood, can we achieve or not? In order to have a strong, the good conviction about achieving Buddhahood, we must know the nature of our mind. So also I explain you within our minds, we have a negative minds, we have a positive minds. Becoming enlightenment or achieving enlightenment is completely free, from all the negative thoughts. Then I ask you question, can we really make a separate the positive thought and negative thoughts within us? Because both of them within us, both of them is our minds. So I'm explain you, just a sum, explain to you, it look like you are totally new in Buddhism, you are totally new in or Tibetan or Chinese or Mahayana Buddhism. So I explain as a very beginner. So as a Buddhist, we must know the history of Buddha Shakyamuni. Second, how Buddhism, flourished all parts of Asia as well as Europe. The second, as a Buddhist, what is our, the main practice? There are so many practices. As a Buddhist, what is our common practice in all Buddhists? So we have a Mahayana Buddhist, we have a Theravada Buddhist. We must know, so what is the differences between Mahayana and Hinayana or Theravada? So what are the common practice between Mahayana Buddhist practitioner and Theravadan Buddhist practitioner? Then as well as then we know, we must know how we can practice the common practice as well as how we can practice the uncommon practice. Then I explained in the past, there are many different ways to introduce Buddhism. Because we have so many different people has a different, desire, different mentality. Sometimes we can introduce, the religion or Buddhism as a simple way. We say, okay, there's a next life. If you don't do practice Dharma, so you will go into hell. The people feel scared. Then I can say, okay, if you really don't want to go in the hell and hungry ghosts, say simply, you just take refuge into Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. It's a very simple. The second is another way to explain, introduce Buddhism to the people. Say, we must introduce the Buddhism very logically. We should not say, oh, there's a hungry ghost, there are the hells, there's a this. If you don't do practice Dharma, you will go there. We should not say this. Then how we really, we can introduce Buddhism? Then we can say simply, in the reality, there are two types of phenomena, which is the conventional phenomena and ultimate phenomena. Two truths. The two truths, it is not, created by Buddha. So Buddha discovered the reality, then he himself practiced two truths for many years. He achieved Buddhahood. Then second, then he introduced us. For two truths, if there's a two truths, then there is a possibility to have a four noble truths. If there's a four noble truths, then there's a possibility to believe into Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. So this way of introduction Buddhism mainly, I think, taught by Maitreya Buddha. So Maitreya Buddha, introduced this based on the Prajna Paramita teaching. Now today we just talk a little bit about the two truths, the little bit about the Four Noble Truths, then related to the Four Noble Truths, then we talk a little bit about the 12 links interdependence. 12 links interdependence. Simply, the two truths, something we can see, we can understand, we can feel every day. We can see the house, we can see the water, we can see people, we can see all of them. Those we call the conventional phenomena. Conventional phenomena. So, can we see the reality of the conventional phenomena? No, we cannot, even though we cannot think. For example, all of you who are this temple, this center, 1 month ago. You came here 1 month before. So today you come again in this center. When you look at the Buddha statue, the painting, you can see it's same as before. Right? You can see same as before. But I can change, right? I cut my hair, you can see different. That means we really don't know the reality. In the reality level, the temple, this center all has changed. It's not same as yesterday and today. It's totally changed. When you look at the Buddha statue, you can see it's same as before. In the reality, it also has changed. That's why we can see the conventional phenomena, but we cannot see, even though we don't understand the ultimate phenomena. Even though we have a lot of, ignorance, we have a lot of confusion about the conventional phenomena. That's why all the conditioned phenomena mean the phenomena which is depend on conditions, causes and conditions. Those phenomena, what we call impermanent phenomena. Impermanent phenomena. Then within the meaning of impermanent, there are two. One is very gross. For example, we can see the trees, grow up, stay for maybe 10 or 20 years. Slowly, we can see the tree is drying. Also, we can see newborn child, like a baby, become teenager, then become older. Then we can see its change, its decline. It's a very gross. The second meaning, that the actual meaning of impermanence is, all the phenomena which is arise, depend on cause and condition, everything is changing. Everything is changing momentarily. It look like you are, look like watching a movie. You cannot watch, when you watch the movie in the theater, you cannot watch kind of one action, not more than 1 minute. It's changing, right? It's changing so fastly. The image of the movie on the screen is changing. Why is changing? Because the projector, the things in the projector is changing very quickly. That's why the image also is changing. Right? Same thing, all condition phenomena is changing momentarily. Very subtle moment is changing, subtle moment, because the causes and condition is changing. That's why the phenomena which is depend on cause and condition has to change. For example, when you in the car, you are moving so fast from here to there. Why you are moving? Because the car is moving. That's why you are moving. You are going there so fastly because the car is moving. All phenomena is changing because their causes and conditions are changing. So we must know, all condition phenomena is changing momentarily, but we have a confusion, we don't understand. Then there's another more subtle level of the reality, which is we call, ultimate phenomena or emptiness. Also, so many you heard about, Mahamudara, like a Chagya Chambo, the Dzogchen, whatever. There's another more subtle than the impermanence, which is emptiness, which is, subject killer light. So, in order to understand emptiness, we slowly have to enter into emptiness. You cannot go directly. It's so difficult. So, that means there's two types of phenomena, which is we can see, we can understand. There's another phenomena which is we cannot see, which is we don't understand. So, this kind of phenomena we must try to understand using a lot of logics and reasoning. There's two truths. Then there's a two truths, therefore there are four noble truths. How? Based on the condition phenomena, then there's a cause and condition. The cause and effect. Cause and effect. In the reality, external phenomena, for example, if you have a seed of rice, then you can grow the rice. The rice is depend on their own seed. The seed is the condition, causes the condition. The sprout, the rice is the result of the seed. Same thing, for example, we have sufferings. We have so many different types of sufferings. The sufferings are not, created by Buddha, created by God. It's not really created by some kind of human being. All sufferings which is we have is created by causes and condition. Then, then the result has two types of result. One is good, very positive, very good. We always want. There's another types of, result, effect, which is we don't want, right? That means the suffering which is we have, we don't want. How the suffering, why we have a suffering? How the suffering, arising within us, we don't want, but it's come, with us 24 hours. That means we need to know what are the causes and condition of the suffering. Then another types of result, which is the positive, is completely, completely positive, completely very good. We always wish to achieve, which is you can call nirvana, you can call Buddhahood, you can call the everlasting happiness. Since we born as a human being, we always wishing to achieve the everlasting happiness. Even though simple insect also try to achieve happiness, try to avoid suffering. It's a naturally happen like that. Then what are the causes and conditions of suffering? For example, somebody say, I'm totally suffered, I'm not happy, I have a sufferings. Then means you have two types of suffering. You have a physical sufferings, you have a mental suffering. The physical suffering you have because you have a physical problem. You have a certain some certain problems within your physical body. That's why you are not happy. You have a suffering of the physical body. The suffering of the physical body, 90% you can cure based on having healthy food, doing a lot of exercise, like practicing yoga, eating like organic food. You can heal, taking medicine. You can heal the physical suffering or physical problem, but we cannot heal 100% of physical suffering. For example, in the aging, how you can heal the suffering of aging and death? You cannot. So the suffering of the aging, the suffering of the death, the suffering of the taking rebirth, you can heal, you can stop, only stopping the cause and condition. That's why when you say I'm not happy, I have a suffering, then you just think what kind of suffering I have, physical suffering or mental suffering. Certain physical suffering I can minimize, I can cure using like other kind of condition like taking medicine, good food, this thing. The second, the aging, death, taking a rebirth. You cannot change using kind of certain medicine, practicing yoga, doing exercise, eating healthy food, eating organic food. You cannot. Still you have to become old and old every day. The second types of suffering, which is we call the mental sufferings. We have a lot of mental suffering. We have emotional sufferings. For example, when you get angry, you are not happy. You are not happy, your friends are not happy. When you have a very strong desire, very strong attachment, also you are not happy. Because you have a very strong desire to achieve something you cannot achieve, that's why you have a mental suffering. That means the physical sufferings or mental suffering, whatever we call, everything arises based on cause and condition. Mainly the cause and condition we can name as ignorance, attachment, anger, hatred, so many, so and so. So what Buddhism teach, what Buddha taught us, you have a physical suffering, you have a mental suffering. All suffering arises based on the the negative emotions, the negative mind, which is ignorance. Based on ignorance, there's an attachment. Based on attachment, there's an anger. Based on anger, there's a hatred. So that's why we are not happy, because we have all the condition of suffering. Now, okay, let's say, yes, I understand ignorance is the root of attachment, anger, hatred. Also, ignorance, attachment, desire, anger are the root of the karma. Then how we can reduce, how we can eliminate the root of the sufferings, which is ignorance, attachment, desire, negative, how we can? Then, okay, here as a Buddhist, many people has a lot of misunderstanding. There's a lot of mis kind of understanding, also misperception. That's why many people think I have a sufferings, I have a problems. That's why many people just go to temple or go to the holy place to do a lot of chanting, lot of recitation, which is good. Only recitation, doing a lot of chanting, like a prostration, those are not just enough to eliminate, to reduce the root of suffering, which is ignorance. You cannot. Whole your life for 24 hours you chant Om Mani Padme Hum, you chant Om Ami Devashi for 24 hours without sleeping whole life. You cannot minimize ignorance, you cannot reduce, you cannot eliminate. Right? That's why you should not have a misunderstanding how to practice Buddhism, how to practice Dharma, how to eliminate ignorance, how to eliminate anger, attachment. Those you can eliminate, you can reduce only using the right, methods, the right kind of antidotes. So let's say, ignorance, attachment, desire, anger, karma, doesn't matter positive karma or negative karma, still is source of suffering. You should not think the positive karma is the source of complete happiness. For example, as a human being, we believe we were born as a human because of the positive karma, right? Positive karma. Still, the positive karma can produce you suffering. That's why what we call there's two types of actually I explained to you. Sometimes we have a misunderstanding about positive karma and merit. All merits are positive. We can say positive karma, positive actions. All positive karma, all positive actions are not the merit, not merit. You should not differentiate between merit and positive karma. Until now, we have been accumulating, negative karma as well as positive karma. All the positive karma, just positive karma is not the merit. Not merit, actually positive karma. We're not able to really accumulate, the merit. So merit, there's two types. We can call, in Tibetan we call sonam jitso, ishi jitso, merit of wisdom, the merit of methods. So you should not think, if I accumulate a lot of positive karma, it gives me, lasting happiness. It gives me, the, ultimate happiness. No. Why not? Right? The question, why not? The positive karma cannot produce, everlasting happiness. Why positive karma cannot produce ultimate happiness? Because positive or negative, whatever, the karma, motivated by ignorance or attachment, anger. So we accumulate a lot of positive karma, motivated by ignorance and attachment. That's why the positive karma is not really completely become merit, cannot. That means, ignorance, attachment, desire, or positive or negative karma are the, cause or condition of suffering. Then we have two types of suffering. Now the opposite of suffering, that we can call, everlasting happiness, or you can call, free from suffering, or you can call nirvana, or you can call, enlightened states. The opposite of the origin of suffering, then we can call, path to enlightenment. So then I also explain it what Buddha said. This is the truth of the suffering you must recognize, right? This is the origin of suffering you must eliminate. This is the cessation you must achieve. This is the path to cessation you must practice. Okay? Suffering you must recognize. Origin of suffering you must eliminate. And the cessation, the nirvana you must achieve. The path you must practice. So when Buddha introduced Four Noble Truths, he says so nicely, this is the truth of suffering. You must recognize. This is the origin of suffering. You must eliminate. If you able to eliminate the origin of suffering, then you're able to eliminate the suffering. This is cessation you must achieve. How I can achieve cessation? How I can achieve nirvana? That's what Buddha said. This is the path. This is the path to cessation. You must practice. Right? He said, you must practice. That's why as a Buddhist, recognize the suffering, then eliminate the suffering based on eliminating the cause of suffering. Recognize the cessation you must achieve. You must achieve based on practice of the path. So then there's I think everybody has a question. Okay, as a Buddhist, do I only practice path? Don't I need to do any kind of positive actions like chanting or not? Yes, you must practice the path as well as you must do a lot of chanting, recitation, prostration, the good actions. All the chanting, recitation, all good actions is look like giving more energy you to practice the path. Then what Buddha said in the Sutara, if you have a lot of positive karma, if you have a lot of good action, then you can achieve your wishing very easily. You can achieve your goal very easily. That's why we should not think as a Buddhist we only practice path, should not do chanting. Also, you should not think as a Buddhist we only chant, not practice. We must do both. Within the both, we more emphasize about meditation, practice the path, less emphasis to do chanting, recitation, good actions. That means this is kind of introduction how to practice the Four Noble Truths. Now within the Four Noble Truths, how we can link with the 12 links interdependence. That's why at the beginning I said ignorance is the root of suffering. All sufferings which we have, all problems which we have, is mainly rooted by ignorance. Now, what does mean ignorance? Ignorance, right? Ignorance. So this is very important, very, very important. We must know the meaning of ignorance. In English, you can say you just ignore, right? We say you ignore. It means even though you just forget. You forget. It's not the exact meaning of ignorance. Which is I said to you before. For example, conditioned phenomena are changing momentarily. It's changing so fast. So fast. but we don't understand. That means we have a ignorance about knowing the subtle impermanence. There's one type of ignorance. Even though you know the subtle impermanence, you realize the subtle level of impermanence. If you don't understand, if you don't realize emptiness, then you cannot really eliminate the ignorance. Ignorance is look like, things exist this way, we perceive another way. It's contradiction. Ignorance. So, the roughly just think, all phenomena changing momentarily, but I don't understand. I have an ignorance about subtle impermanence. Second, you should think all phenomena are, in the reality level, all phenomena are, doesn't matter, permanent phenomena or impermanent phenomena, doesn't matter. All phenomena not exist independently, but for us, all phenomena, for us, appear all phenomena exist as independently. That means something appeared to you exists as independently. That means you have an ignorance about the reality. If you realize, if you understand all phenomena not exist independently, that means then you already recognize the ignorance. Ignorance is the root. So second is the karma. So we have ignorance, therefore we accumulate positive karma, we accumulate negative karma. How we accumulate positive karma? Because sometimes we do action, based on the good motivation, right? Based on compassion, based on, having kind of benefit others. Then we do, sometimes we do the good action motivated by, good heart, motivated by love and compassion. It we call positive. Why we call positive? This karma produce, the positive result in the samsaric level. This is samsaric level. Some karma, we have sometimes we act motivated by negative thoughts. This kind of action produce suffering. They we call negative. One we call positive, because the both actually producing result in the samsaric level. Samsaric level, the positive karma never give you result beyond the samsara. That we call positive and negative karma. So first ignorance, second is a karma. Between ignorance and karma, there's a motivation, positive or negative motivation. That's why we call, three poisons. Now there's an order. First, there's a ignorance. Second, there's a attachment. Third, there's a anger. Fourth, there's a hatred. For example, I told before, I gave a lot of example. For example, there's one of the, when we see one of the richest Singaporean in the market, the person wears one simple watch which is cost $3. He wears $3 watch. What we assume? Maybe 30,000, more than 30,000. We just assume. We just look at far away. Oh, he wear this watch, must be very expensive. That means we have an ignorance about the watch, right? Watch. Then suddenly the rich person come close to you, closer to you. They say, hey, hello, how are you? They say, I'm good, I'm happy. Oh, it's so nice to see you. I'll give you my watch as a gift. Right? You feel so happy. Right? You feel so happy because you thought it's very expensive, it's so expensive. When you feel so happy, then you already attach the watch. You have a strong attachment to the watch. Next, somebody says, oh, you got the watch. Can you sell me? I'll give you $1,000. You are not ready to sell the watch. Are you ready? No, because you thought it's very expensive. Because you have an attachment, even though it costs only $3 or $10, somebody offer you to give $1,000, you're not ready to sell. Your attachment. Then somebody, break part of the watch. They say, oh, can I see your watch? Yeah, you can see. Somehow, he break the watch. How do you feel? You get so upset. And you'll be so upset, right? So upset, you got very strong, anger. The anger rests based on what? Attachment. The attachment rests based on what? Ignorance. That means then when you have anger towards someone, you always hate the person, you always hate the phenomena, you always hate, the weather, whatever. This means between ignorance and the karma, there's always, involved all the negative thoughts or positive thoughts. Then, even though, so now we need to connect, we need to link, karma and the samsara. Karma and samsara. Samsara. Or karma and also, need to connect with the karma and the consciousness. First, ignorance. Second is karma. Third is consciousness. How we can link? Do you know what does mean samsara? Many people say second existence, right? Second existence. Samsara. Samsara. The meaning of samsara, there are two. Samsara. Also, truth of suffering has a two level. We call, external truth of suffering, internal, internal truth of suffering. External samsara, internal samsara. Also, we use, container and content. Clear? Container and content. Or inner samsara, outer samsara. Inner truth of suffering, external truth of suffering. Samsara has two, types. One we call the external samsara, which is where we live. The universe, this universe, this world is the external samsara. External truth of suffering is a container of the content. Okay, samsara. The second, inner suffering, which is the physical body. The content, which is the sentient beings, are the content of the container. Containers refer to the samsara. Samsara and samsaric beings. Samsara. Now, how you can link with the karma and the external world? How you can connect? How there's a connection between karma and the external world? Actually, within 24 hours, or even though just within 1 hour, so many negative karma, produce negative result. Positive karma produce positive karma. Every moment. So you can see within 1 hour we have so many different kind of feeling. Sometimes we are happy. For example, before I was happy, now I'm not happy. Now I'm not happy, next I'm happy. Right? Everything is changing the feeling is changing momentarily. Because behind the karma produce you, positive action, positive result, negative result, positive negative result. That's why everything is changing momentarily because of the karma. Second, you can see based on your experience. I think everybody has already have this experience. For example, your neighbors or your friends, somewhere before they were very poor. Suddenly they have a newborn child. Due to that, the family, situation totally change. Is slowly, it's become more better and better. Finally, the family become very rich. Sometimes you can see the family is rich, the family is, has everything. Somehow, suddenly someone born, then the family has totally changed. It changed because, the newborn child has a very strong karma. That's why you can relate, you can link with the karma and the, external world. The internal suffering, the physical body. You can see somebody always eat healthy food, always eat like organic food, always do a lot of yoga and exercise, always very careful their physical body. But the person always gets sick. Even though they take care very well, eating, drinking, wearing, everything is very carefully, do everything, but always get sick. Why? Then the person, visit doctor, they do a lot of checkup. The doctor say, I cannot find any problem. I cannot find any problem. There's no any disease within you. Physically you are look okay, but still you got sick. Right? That means also there's involved with the negative karma. So the physical body is, has a deep connection with the karma. And overall, also we can say, very, if you have some knowledge about the subtle energy or subtle wind, and also what we call emptiness and manifestation of emptiness. Emptiness and manifestation of emptiness. That means everything's happen because actually things are, the nature is empty. Things happen. If you go link with the, the Tantrayana or the practice, what we believe based on Buddha teaching, there's a subtle energy. The subtle energy slowly manifests as a, subtle body. The subtle body slowly transforms as a gross body. That means, then not only that, the subtle energy slowly transforms as a external world, the universe. When we die, we have our own, universe. Everything dissolves into the subtle wind. The subtle wind go this life to next life. Then again, the subtle wind, slowly emerge, transform as a, body. Some part of subtle energy transform as a universe. When they dissolve, it totally dissolve into the subtle wind. That's why you can link, karma and the, physical body, and karma and the external, world, or the, external, or the content, the container. The third we call, consciousness. Okay, first ignorance. Number 2 is karma. Number 3 is the consciousness. Right? Now, everybody, listen very carefully. When we say, number 3 is consciousness or mind, then there's a true meaning. Right now, we are in the classroom, so before we start, we had been done prostration. While we were doing prostration, there's a motivation. There was a motivation. Due to motivation, we have done prostration. That moment we have a positive action, the physically positive action. At the same time, we have a positive mental action. The positive mental action lift, imprint on the mind. This mind also include into number 3, which is consciousness. Clear? Clear. The second one, now we know the positive or negative karma or the positive action or negative action already within our mind. Then, after we pass away, we go through the middle state and pardo. After pardo, we will take a rebirth. The first time when we take a rebirth, wherever, as a human being, as an animal, the first moment when you are reborn, somewhere, the first moment of the consciousness also include into number 3, which is consciousness. Okay, one consciousness, carries the karma. Second is the result of the karma. Clear? Okay, so then I will explain a very easy way. Do everybody among you, how many of you really believe in karma? How many of you cannot accept karma? Okay, how many of you really believe in karma? Okay, everybody. Okay. The people who believe in karma, where's the karma? Where's the karma? Huh?
Action?
Yeah, action, no. Action, look, action we have for example, when we do the prostration, we have a physical action. This action is it's just simple action. This action is not going to, you're not going to go to the next life. When you stop, there's no more physical action, right? Like physical action is not really, which is karma we are talking about, positive and negative. So, where's the karma actually? For example, we accumulate a lot of positive karma in the previous life, also, as well as we also accumulate a lot of negative karma. Also, we believe the karma continuously within us, right? Within us. Then, where the karma exists? Consciousness, right? Consciousness, within the consciousness. How the karma exists within the consciousness? Huh? Yeah, you can say imprint, and mental imprint or whatever. It's exactly same as deposit money in bank. You bring cash, right? It's the cash. You can see the cash. When you give the money to bank, the bank give you what? Give you the receipt. You just receive simple receipt, or they give you a card. When you open the card, you just cut, open, you cannot see the cash. Can you see? Cannot. But when you put the card in the ATM machine, you can see the money is coming. Right? Exactly same. Accumulating, merit or accumulating negative or positive karma look like, deposit money in the bank. When you deposit money, you have a cash. When you accumulate positive or negative karma, there's an action. The physical action, mental action, verbal action. You can see the action there. You can see the cash. Next moment, when you deposit money in your bank, you cannot see the cash. You can see the receipt, you can see the card. Within the card, there's no cash, right? Is there cash? Huh? No cash. When you use the card, you can withdraw money. Right? When you look at the mind, you cannot see the mind has a karma, but the mind has an ability to produce, suffering, produce happiness. Right? Has an ability. Why the mind has this kind of potential? Why the mind has a potential, to produce suffering, produce happiness? Because the mind got imprint. When you use the ATM card, you can withdraw because the card has a potential or kind of ability or link with the bank. You can withdraw. So when you say I accumulate merit, you just simply think I act positively 10 minutes. That means you got positive experience in your mind. When you act negatively 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, your mind got, experience to act negatively. Right? That means cumulative karma not really, we store, thing in the mind. Just simply leave, imprints, potential in their mind. That means third, number 3 is consciousness. That means true meaning. One is the moment when we accumulating merit, accumulating negative karma, positive karma. That time there's a mind. The mind also we can call, number 3, which is consciousness. Also, the first moment when you are born as a human, first moment when now we are human being. Next time when we born as a animal, the first moment when you are born as an animal, there's a consciousness, there's a mind. There's the mind we call number 3. One is the result, one is the kind of container, content the karma. That means number 3 is a consciousness. What is the number 4? Number 4. Name and form. Name and form. Name and form. Name and form. Why we use name and form? Why we don't use directly form? Why?
There is a formless being. Samsara. That's why they do not have the form, but they exist merely by name.
Very good. Yeah. So, for example, we have we believe in 3 realms, right? 3 realms. The first is what realms? Desire realms. Second, form realms. Third is formless realms. Why we name, this universe is of, desire realms. Why? Why? Desire realms.
Because we are born based on desire.
No, there's a formless also. They're born based on desire. Desire realm, right? We have many types of desire, right? We have desire. We have desire based on what? 5 types of form, like the physically form, the house, the cars, the food, the body. There's a desire about the form, desire about the smell, desire about the taste, textures. Then form, sound, smell, taste, textures. We have been looking the better, like a form, better taste, better smell. That's why we have a very strong desire about the 5 types of forms. They were called desire realms. Then because of form, like form realms, that means they have desire about sound, smell, taste, so, but mainly they have very strong desire about their physical body. They have very strong desire about the physical body. Compared with our body, their body is so beautiful, so clean, so pure. Mainly they have strong desire about their physical body. Difficult, form realms. Formless. Formless, in the future is when I think useful to know you. Formless mean they don't have the gross physical form, gross physical body which we have. They don't have the gross body which is the form realm has. But they have the subtle form, subtle body, which is the subtle energy, subtle wind. This means we have 3 realms. So we believe the formless realm doesn't have the subtle body. That's why we say name and form. Name means that do you remember the 5 aggregates? What are they? 5 aggregates. Form, feeling, discriminating.
Consciousness.
Yeah, there's 5 aggregates. Within the 5, look at the feeling is not really form, right? That's because name and form. Not only that, for example, the first time when we, as a human being, first time, let's say we everybody, in previous life, we everybody were like cow. So now we were born as a human. So when the cow, the cow life transformed as a human at the first time. I'm not saying first time forever. That's first time after the cow, when we were born as a human being, the first moment, do we have a gross body? Do we have really gross body? No. That moment, look like we have only name. We don't have, very daily gross body you can see. You can see. That's what we call name and form. That means there's ignorance. Due to ignorance, there's attachment, desire, anger, hatred, or compassion, kindness, tolerance. Then we accumulate karma. Positive karma, negative karma, or just neutral karma. Due to karma, then we need, a place or things to live the karma. This means number 3 is a consciousness. Number 3 is consciousness. So within the consciousness has a karma. Due to the karma, then we take a rebirth. When we take a rebirth, we rebirth as a desire or formless realms. If we take a rebirth as a desire and form realms, then we have a physical body. If we take a rebirth in the formless, then we have only name, no form. Then we got name and form. Number 4. What is the number 5? 6 sense. This is, do you know exactly what it means 6 then sense? 6 source or 6 sense?
There's different translation. Both is there.
I think better to say 6 source. 6 source. Ngapa keje. Because ngapa is number 5 and source is the heje. So, because 5, 6 source. Now we need to know what are the 6. What are the source? Now we need to count the 6 minds. 6 minds. What are the 6 minds? Yeah, 6 I mind. Or we can say 6 consciousness. Simply, I consciousness, Nor consciousness, air consciousness, tongue, and body. Then number 6 is the mental consciousness. Now simple look at. we have a, the eyes organ, then within the eyes organ there's a particular object which is very clear. This is real, the eyes organ. If you have only eyes organ, no eyes consciousness, you cannot see, right? You cannot see. You must have an eyes organ. You must have an eyes consciousness. If there's no object, then you cannot see, right? In order to see something, we need three things. Very important one, the eyes organ, or you can say eye sense, eyes consciousness, the object. Based on three, then we can see the object. When we see object, sometimes we are very happy, sometimes we are not happy. When we are happy, we have a pleasant feeling, pleasant feeling. When we see ugly object, we have an unpleasant feeling, right? That means there is a sixth mind. The sixth mind is arise based on the organs, the object. We call immediate. There's a term, object, right? Object, then immediate condition, then number three. I think how many you study the Nalendra course? Right? So this means in order to arise consciousness, we must need an object. We must need a immediate condition. Then we need a kind of the sense. That means five sense or six sense. That means we call six source. That means the six minds arise based on the six source, six conditions. What is the number six? Contact. Now you can see the link. There's a five source. When the five source contact to the object, for example, you have a consciousness. When the consciousness contact with a beautiful object, then you have a pleasant feeling, right? When the eye consciousness contact with the ugly object, then you have a unpleasant feeling. That means there's contact. Number 7, feeling. Number 8, craving. Look at the five consciousness contact with a beautiful object, you have a pleasant feeling. Contact with the ugly object, you have a unpleasant feeling. When we have a pleasant feeling, then what we do? We clinging, right? We always wish not lose the this pleasant feeling. When we lose the pleasant feeling, the good feeling, we will become upset. We upset about it. That means there's an order, contact, feeling, clinging. What's the number 9? Grasping. That's why Tibetan we call seba, like a clinging. No, seba is grasping. Is hold, right? Actually, the clinging and grasping has a similar meaning. One is more stronger, one is less. For example, when you have a pleasant feeling, you just hold. The pleasant, the grasping becomes so strong. Then what you call? Clinging. Then next one, grasping. Totally, completely whole. So now there's a very important you must know. For example, karma is look like seeds. karma is seeds. Then clinging and graspings look like soil and water. Okay, soil and water. If you just put the seeds, in the field, if there's no like really soil and water, you cannot grow anything. That means grasping and clingings look like soil and water to develop the seeds in complete way. So the next after grasping, what's the number 10? Becoming. Look at now, it's becoming. That means there's a seeds. If you put soil and water, the seed become very complete to produce the sprout. Okay? There's a karma, or positive or negative, doesn't matter. When you have a strong clinging and grasping, the karma completely going to repent. That's why it goes complete. That means the karma become very complete, ready to produce a product. Then number 11, birth, right? Chuba hewa, birth. No, not only birth. Aging. No, number birth. Number 12, aging and death. So we call twos together, right? Because something can be dead without aging. There's no really order. There's no 12 links. Now, the 12 link interdependent has a two different order. Listen very carefully. Now I just count the 12 numbers based on how Buddha taught. Now we go, the sequence, actual sequence. First, number 1, ignorance. Number 2, karma. Number 3, one part of consciousness, right, which is carry the karma. Actually, first we can say ignorance, then karma, then clinging, grasping, okay, order, ignorance, ignorance, karma, clinging, grasping, complete. This is the order, actual is the sequence. That means there's ignorance. Due to ignorance, accumulate merit, accumulate karma. In order to repent the karma, then the clinging, grasping. Then finally, the karma become complete. When the karma become complete, then you take a rebirth. After you take a rebirth, then there's another order. They say contact, feeling. Right? Contact, feeling. After you take a rebirth, then at the same time, name and form. Then contacts, then feeling, then rest of them. There's a two different order. One is based on order of how Buddha taught. Second is the order how the actual sequence. So next time, it is a very gross idea about 12 links interdependent. So if you have a good knowledge about 12 links interdependent, then you can see that the change, right? What do you call change or change? Change the link. Let me look at. So we wish to stop aging and death. We don't. Anybody wants to die, right? You can stop aging and death if you're able to stop to take a rebirth, right? If you only can stop to take a rebirth, if you're able to stop the karma. If you able to stop, if you wish to stop rebirth, you need to stop karma. In order to stop karma, you need to minimize, eliminate attachment, anger. Anger. In order to eliminate them, first you need to eliminate ignorance. Ignorance, eliminate, then anger, attach can be eliminated. They can be eliminated, the karma can be eliminated. Karma can be eliminated, then you can eliminate birth, then aging and death. It's kind of completely, change. So in order to understand the truth of suffering, origin of suffering, you must study about the 12 links interdependence. Then next class, so we should have simple knowledge about the whole phenomena. Because in Buddhism we have a very nice system to introduce all phenomena, how to introduce. When you study like modern science, there are so many different fields, right? You have a psychology, you have a what we call quantum physics, you have so many different fields. All fields you cannot connect each other. In Buddhism we have a very simple, in very nice way to introduce how things exist, how things come into exist. What's the nature of kind of all phenomena? So next class we can call Dura. Simple idea about the Dura. I'm not going to give you very the confusion thing. Simply it's look like telling the story. Simple way. So next lesson we are mainly like Dura. The person who study Nalanda course must be prepared. So maybe it look like your exam. Okay? You are taking the Nalanda course, right? Then you are taking, right? No, you are taking, right? You and you, also you, right? Yes. Anyway, so everybody come with the bit preparation. So it's a basic, I think, course in the according to it's the first course, right? Yeah, is it called advance? Okay. Anyway, so we will have a very basic class about Dura. So we can stop here. It's almost 9 o'clock. So, okay, before we do the dedication prayers, does anybody have any question? Any question? Okay, yeah. Okay, what's the what's the nature of mental imprint? Then? Mm-hmm.
But I don't understand how exactly what happened in the middle to give a good result.
Okay, in the middle. It's based on our experience. For example, based on my experience, in 2000 I went to America. So one evening we were driving from Connecticut to Chicago. It's winter. On the road there's a lot of snow. Also we were driving in the snow. At the same time it's falling a lot of snow. Then I feel so kind of bit upset, bit missing India. This kind of feeling I had. The next time, whenever I see this kind of weather, I feel what I had feeling in the past. For example, in your life, in the past, maybe you have a very wonderful time, one of the most important time, wonderful time. That moment you are so happy. That moment your mind got very strong kind of experience. The experience live within the mind, experience. Then we say, live imprint. Next time, when you have very similar kind of activity or similar kind of things happen, certainly you remember past what kind of feeling you had. That means the mind just, the imprint arise. In the middle, after you live the imprint in your mind until produce the result, the potential is always there, just there. The potential is within the mind, always there. That we call used in the lies domain, right? Domain. That means look like also modern people use the subconscious. This is there, not really active. Yeah, it look like this. The mind is there. Within the mind, the experience is there. The experience can arise when they meet certain condition. Between, there's always there. Memory, no. Memory means when you think about, you have to. For example, we say, "Oh, I forgot." When you forgot, you don't have the memory, right? The memory. If you have the memory, when you try to remember, you can remember. The memory is completely actually the mind. Memory is mind. The mental imprint is not mind. It's kind of experience within the mind. For example, somebody punch you on your face, so the person has gone. But still you can see the mark. The mark is not the punch, right? The mark is not the forehead. Within the forehead you can see something there. So memory, mental imprint is a big difference. Memory is the consciousness, mental imprint is not consciousness, right? Okay, so any question? So we have one, yeah.
Okay, sure. You talk about this karma, positive and negative. Is it just solely positive and negative, or there is more profound karma than this positive and negative?
Okay, what we use positive karma, negative karma, and neutral. Not positive, neither negative. Karma include into three: positive karma, negative karma, neutral karma. Most time we experience positive, negative because it's very obvious. When the positive karma produce the result, it's very obvious for us. When the negative karma produce result, it's very obvious for us. When the neutral karma produce the result, we don't really feel it. So there's a three types: positive karma, negative karma, neutral karma. Also, you must differentiate between, positive karma and the merit. I said all merits are positive karma, but all positive karmas are not merit. Okay, any question? No, right? Okay.
Master, what neutral karma, what does it mean?
Neutral karma, okay, for example, the very simple way, when you use the harsh word to someone with the bad motivation, right? Bad motivation. This is the negative karma because the motivation was very negative. The neutral karma, why are you driving? You just sing song, it's very, very neutral karma. It doesn't accumulate a positive, no negative. Most time, singing is here and there. But sometimes when you sing song based on attachment, still sing a song, but still accumulating negative or positive karma. Yeah. What do you see like still like that? Okay, so then we can do the dedication prayers.